we speak your name, we lift our eyes to mark, to your beat. Where we walk, there you'll be, with fire in our eyes, our lives alight. Your love untamed is blazing out. The streets will be forever bright. Your glory's breaking through the night. You will never fade away. Your love is here to stay by my side, in my life, shining through me every day. You will never fade away. Your love is here to stay by my side, in my life, shining through me every day. You wake within me, wake within me. You're in my heart forever. You wake within me, wake within me. You're in my heart forever. Put those hands up. Fire in our eyes, alive to the light. Your love untamed is blazing out. The streets will glow forever bright. Your glory is breaking through the night. You will never fade away. Your love is here to stay by my side, in my life, shining through me every day. You will never fade away. Your love is here to stay by my side, in my life, shining through me every day. Wake within me, wake within me. You're in my heart forever. Wake within me, wake within me. You're in my heart forever. See those hands up, Impact. All right, sing this with us. Forever, forever, forever in your love. Forever, forever, forever in your love. Forever, forever, forever in your love. Forever, forever, forever. We know that you will never fade away. Your love is here to stay by my side, in my life, shining through me every day. You will never fade away. Your love is here to stay by my side, in my life, shining through me every day. Wake within me, wake within me. You're in my heart forever. Wake within me, wake within me. You're in my heart forever.
Come on, Impact, let's keep your hands up, get 'em going. Come on, let's keep up our hands. This is no performance, Lord. I pray it's worship. Empty words I can't afford. I'm not chasing feelings. That's not why I'm singing. You're the reason for my song.
Impact, sing this with us. Tearing through the veil of darkness, breaking every chain, you set us free. Fighting for the furthest heart, you gave your life for all to see. Tearing through the veil of darkness, breaking every chain, you set us free. Fighting for the furthest heart, you gave your life.
Come on, Impact, get your hands up for one last time. Front to back, side to side. We're gonna hit this, and I wanna see everyone jumping. I wanna see you go crazy. Here we go. Love is relentless. Love is relentless. Love is relentless.
What's up, Impact? Everybody take a seat. Y'all take a seat. We take a seat. All right, all right. How's everybody feeling tonight? Woo! All right. Hey, we're glad you guys are here. Hey, Brent, how are you? All right. Hey, we're pumped y'all here. My name's Chris. Guys, if it's your first time here to Impact, please stick around after the message right up front for our VIP experience, right? And we'll take care of you there. Hey, before we get started, though, guys, we had a March Madness game for y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Let's give it up one more time for our winner. Where's our winner at? There he is. Good work, man. Is that a Todd Gurley jersey? Oh, my goodness. That is incredible. All right. Mad props, dude. Hey, guys, we're doing that because this upcoming Sunday, 2 Sundays from now, March 26th, we're having a basketball tournament, all right, out in Oak Ridge. Guys, you got to sign up for it if you want to play. It's really simple. All you have to do is text IMPACT to 41411. Hey, and a lot of y'all talk a big game and you say you want to play, but you're not signing up, okay? Nick, you better sign up. Oh, you guys don't want me signing up because everybody's going to lose something if I sign up, all right? Here's the deal. Hey, everybody, y'all sign up. Listen, I know the students are talking a lot of junk to us leaders, and we're going to mess around and maybe have like a leader-student game, and we'll have to spot y'all probably 15 or 20 points to 21. But we got you, okay? Students, y'all sign up. Don't worry about us leaders. We'll be there, okay? You need to bring your squad for that, though, for real. Watch out, Nick, all right? But, guys, sign up for it. It's going to go down. Now, everybody else, I want us to know we're in Crew. We are in week 3 of Crew. We started it 2 weeks ago. Randy was here. Randy gave a message, guys, and he talked about the people that you hang out with right now, how they have an influence on you that can either make your dreams or they can break your dreams. And you guys agree with that? We all know it. Last week, we took it one step further. And we talked about the people that we hang out with, our friends, our boys, our squad, our girlfriends. Guys, unfortunately, they don't really have all the answers. They don't know everything, right? We got to pay attention to who we listen to. And it's important that we have mentors in our lives, people who have been there before, they've experienced it. All right, so we were talking about that last week, and hopefully y'all had a conversation with your mentors this week. Maybe you have a conversation with your mentor, your small group leader tonight about that and how we can help you really, guys, live a life that's honoring Christ, right? It's tough to do. But tonight, we're going to finish, and we're going to talk about something that really has the most influence on friendships. We're talking about this thing called conflict. You guys all face conflict. Everybody in here's faced conflict. You probably faced conflict this morning. You probably faced it this afternoon when you got your grade back, and, I don't know, you got a 7 or something on it, right? Bad scores, okay? Conflict is a part of life. It's everywhere, y'all. And if we're real about conflict, guys, we got to know how to handle it. Because conflict can really destroy our relationships. But let's be real. Conflict is known as a disagreement, an argument, problem, a fight. We used to call it beef. You got beef? I guess I'm really that old, though, because I found out earlier that you guys don't even call it beef anymore. That's wild, man. Okay. Well, we were always talking about beef. Whitney was even rapping like a little Wayne lyric to it or something, but I'm not gonna ruin it right now. But guys, we're talking about some beef or some issues or problems that you have in your crew. It's normal because you spend so much time and you hang out with them. But guys, the reality is this. Few things actually have the potential to change, hurt, or end your crew of friends faster than conflict. Think about it. Conflict can end everything with your crew that you roll with. Guys, it changes your relationships. You probably have people that you're close with. And now you're understanding what happened. You had some conflict that all of a sudden means You and your best friend, you guys were like the Three Stooges, right? Y'all used to do everything together, and now you don't do it anymore. They've kind of left you out. Something changed along the way, and you wonder what that conflict was. Or, guys, conflict could have hurt your relationship, and man, a girl that you really, really liked, yeah, one of your boys starts talking to her. We talk about this every week because it happens probably every week, just to be honest with you guys, right? But somebody that you really, really like, what if they start talking behind your back, and they post stuff on social media about you, or they go and they do something behind your back? Guys, that's some conflict, and that relationship will be hurt. In other relationships, sometimes, y'all, let's be honest, something happens, and you're so mad at that person, a year later, 2 years later, you're like, man, why am I not friends with them anymore? I don't really know what happened. All of a sudden, my relationship kind of just ended. You guys felt like that before? I was thinking back to middle school and high school, and I had some boys I was close with, and I don't really know what happened. We got into an argument probably over who scored the most points in the game or who got the most minutes or whatever it was, right? And we just kind of lost track and we stopped talking. Guys, conflict is bad. It can destroy us. It can really mess us up if we don't really know how to handle it. So, guys, we're going to talk about conflict tonight. But first, let's here, you can go to this next slide here. Man, and if you go one more, we got the main question for tonight is this: how do you handle conflict? What do you do with conflict? And there's really 3 different things we can do. Everybody in here, I want you guys to think about this. When conflict comes your way, first thing that probably a lot of us do, we ignore it. When that guy walks in, your boy walks in, and you guys have been having a lot of beef or issues or problems, whatever y'all young whippersnappers want to call it, right? When they walk in that door, all of a sudden you say, I'm walking out. I try and ignore conflict. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm going to stay as far away as possible. You can ignore conflict. Second thing you can do with conflict, you can run to it. You love drama. You love gossip. You got to know everything that's going on. Be a drama queen. Guys, I think we're just as bad because we got a lot of drama kings too who are like, oh, what'd you say about him? Oh, goodness. You want to know everything that's going on. You love the gossip, right? Guys, if you like that conflict, it's a dangerous spot to be. And the last thing you really can do with conflict, the way you handle conflict, you can be passive-aggressive towards it. Is anybody in here passive-aggressive? Well, you know what passive-aggressive means? Great, thank you for the clarifying question there. Passive-aggressive means somebody does something to you that you really don't like and you don't appreciate it, but you don't say anything to them about it. And all of a sudden, you just go into this silent treatment. I'm not going to talk to her. I'm not going to talk to him. I'm not telling anybody. I'm just mad I didn't get my way. Silent treatment. Guys, we do silent treatments. It's real. If you think about it, or you can go on social media and you can post something about friends, and you'd be like, man, if I could only find a real friend, right? Because something happened, you just make a real vague statement. Guys, that's what happens with whenever you are passive-aggressive. Now, just to be real, guys, if we want to be good friends, if we want to have good friends around us in middle school, in high school, in college, far beyond, I want to give you guys a quick reality check. You will face conflict. I promise you. In middle school, you got it. In high school, you probably get uppercutted with some conflict. In college, you can get slapped across the face with some conflict. And then when you get married, you get ready to have kids, you're in the neighborhood, oh, you think everything's fine? Nope, conflict comes a-knocking, guys. It's a part of life. So what we have to figure out, y'all, is how are we going to deal with conflict? It's something you absolutely have to learn if you want to have great friends. You got to know how to deal with conflict. Now, I'm going to give you guys a quick story from my life and my crew. Oh my goodness, we got a couple Duke fans up here. I don't even know what to think right now. This is just devastating. He still doesn't know I'm talking about you, man. Oh, don't, no. Listen, hey, you guys with me? Can y'all stay with me up here? Thank you. We do need to pray for them. That's true. You guys want to have a come to Jesus moment and pray for them real quick? No. Hey, we'll talk later, Dookie. Can you do me a favor? The Final Four. You guys got a little ways. I'm glad you're proud. Hey, do me a favor. Could you guys just be paying attention up here with us? Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hey, Blake. Hey, can I get a high school guy to come up here and sit with these youngins, please? Thank you, Kyle. All right. Hey, Blake, stay with me, man. Appreciate it, Kyle. Guys, so here's the deal. When I was growing up in my crew, we had conflict. Most of my conflict was with my older brother. The Leonard crew, me and my older brother had a lot of issues. We did. And mainly our issues, guys, they kind of resolved around who was the favorite in the family. You guys ever feel that way? You know, parents always say that they never have favorites. Hey, they got favorites. Let's just be honest, okay? Whitney and I already talked about this. We're trying to do the best we can to not have favorites before we even have our baby. It's like it's crazy. Guys, parents have favorites, all right? And just let them just tell you that you're their favorite. It'll make you feel really good. You know what you should do to find out if you're the favorite? You just say, hey, well, Mom, you're my favorite, right? Dad, you're my favorite. And try and flip it on them. But me and my brother had conflict about this all the time. Guys, I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to treat my brother because my dad was always picking between us two. And it's like, okay, well, who does my dad really like more? And it really bothered me. So my dad grew up, and he used to always love working in restaurants. So when he raised us and our family, him and my mom, they were in the restaurant business. And they had a couple restaurants in High Point and in Winston and one in Greensboro. And what's cool about the restaurants, guys, is that famous people would come in from time to time. And I loved it. And me and my brother would be like, oh, man, somebody famous is coming. I'm going to be able to go meet him. Dad's going to tell me about it. I'm going to go meet him. It's going to work out. Well, my brother was older than me. He was able to stay out later than me, right? You guys know that whole thing. He was better at sports than me. And I still think he was kind of my dad's favorite. So unfortunately, when this guy by the name of Willie Stargell, you guys probably don't know who he is, but he was a Hall of Fame player for the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball team. Can we get this picture real quick? He came into the restaurant one night, and I was like, okay, this is a Hall of Fame baseball player. I don't know who he is, but I just want to go because my brother wants to go. So I want to beat my brother and be able to go see him. Well, unfortunately, when I came home, my dad's like, yeah, sorry, son, you're not going. I was like, what? He said, I'm going to take Tim. I said, of course, you're going to take my older brother. He's the favorite. Okay, you can take Tim. But what's funny is we were both dressed up like in our little Atlanta Braves gear. Like every baseball fan would just like the Atlanta Braves, even though we played for Pittsburgh. It didn't really matter at all. But I remember being shut down on a Tuesday night. My dad was like, sorry, I'm taking your older brother, Tim. And guys, I ignored that conflict. And I was like, man, that really bothered me because I felt like I wasn't the favorite, and it just stayed with me. A couple years later, we're having breakfast one morning. My dad's talking, and he's like, hey, you'll never believe who came into the restaurant one night. And I was like, well, who came in? He said, Joe Montana. And if any sports fans in here, leaders, you guys know, Joe Montana was the dude. Right? Up until Tom Brady just came and won another Super Bowl, he broke all of this guy's records. Joe Montana used to be the most popular, right, the most winningest quarterback in NFL history. He was the man. And me and Tim are like, we're sitting there eating cereal. I was eating Fruity Pebbles, and I think he had like Cocoa Crisp or something, which are terrible. But we're like, I just flipped it over. I'm like, oh, Dad, did he really come in? What happened? He's like, yeah, he came in. I was like, well, did you get an autograph? Because, you love autographs. Anybody here like autographs? Yeah, absolutely. And I was like, did you get an autograph, Dad? What happened? Dad said, yeah, I got an autograph. And he brings out this football that was signed by Joe Montana. It was in silver ink. I still remember seeing it. And he says, yeah, I got it. And I'm right here. This was so messed up. He comes to me. He's like, yeah. And I looked at the football, and it said, to Timmy. Best wishes, Joe Montana. And I'm looking at it, and I look at my dad. And I'm like, what? I just want to just strangle him real quick. I was like, what are you doing, Dad? Are you crazy? I didn't do that, guys, okay? But I was like, man, it's for my brother. And he's like, yeah, well, Tim's a football player. He loves football. And I was like, you know what? I knew it, Dad. I knew you liked Tim more. My sister was sitting there with us. She was like, nah, it's clear. Tim is the favorite in the family, right? And I remember what I really wanted to do after that, guys. I wanted to get some revenge. Because if you're not careful with conflict, guess what conflict's going to make you want to do? It makes you want to get revenge, right? And you know what I really wanted to do? I wanted to take that football and punt it out the back door. Or I want to take that football and give it to my dog Snickers, which used to snarl and tear up everything. Y'all seen the movie Sandlot? Yeah. You know that big dog that's the beast? Chewed up that baseball from Babe Ruth? That's like what Snickers was doing to that football. And I was like, I'm about to take it from Timmy and go give it to my dog Snickers and let him tear it up. I wanted some revenge. I was like, this isn't fair, man. And it ended up working out. I know some of you guys felt bad about that story. I thought y'all would laugh. Y'all were like, oh. But it worked out for me because my dad took me a few years later to meet Michael Jordan, so it worked out pretty cool, right? So it worked out pretty nice for me. But guys, here's the deal. With conflict, we want revenge. It's just a natural part of life if we're not careful. And guess what? Revenge can destroy us. I want to tell us a story real quick about a guy from the book of Genesis, a guy by the name of Joseph, okay? Man, Joseph had a lot of conflict. Joseph was the youngest in the family. He had a lot of older brothers. But he was, without a doubt, his dad's favorite. he was so popular with his dad. His dad loved him so much because, man, he was his youngest kid. He didn't even think he'd have another kid. He has Joseph, and he's like, man, you were just my favorite. He actually gives him this coat, a really, really nice, fancy coat and robe. It's expensive, and he gave it to Joseph. And all his brothers, when they're out working in the fields, Joseph's sitting there rocking this coat, and just loving it and feeling good in it. And his brothers are like, man, I can't stand that dude. Because his dad would flat out say, hey, Joseph, you're my favorite. Here's this robe. Enjoy it. Have fun. His brothers could not stand him. And this is Genesis 37:4. They talk about it. And I want to see if you guys can kind of relate to this story. Maybe you have a younger brother who might be like a Joseph here. But this is what happens, guys. Genesis 37:4. But his brothers hated Joseph because their father loved him more than the rest of them. They couldn't even say a kind word to him. You guys feel like that sometimes? You got a brother, and like, I cannot say a kind word to my little brother. He drives me up a wall. Yeah, I still feel that way. Let's keep going. Watch what happens here with Joseph and his brothers. So one night, Joseph had a dream. And when he told his brothers about it, they hated him more than ever. Joseph has this dream. You guys heard about the dream that Joseph had? Oh, dude, this is great. Now, I don't know about y'all, but listen to this story here about the dream, and I would just want you to think how you would react if your favorite brother was telling you about this. Check this out. Genesis 37:6. It says, listen to this dream, Joseph says. We were out in the field tying up bundles of grain. Suddenly my bundle stood up, and your bundles all gathered around and bowed low before mine. So they would gather bundles of grain, right? This is when they're harvesting, and guys, it's time where they're getting all the wheat they possibly can from the fields. And Joseph, you know he was rocking that nice coat out there, chilling, sweating out there in the heat. He's like, I got my nice coat on, right? And he says, this is the dream I had. All the wheat, everything we had, it was actually your wheat starts bowing down to me. And he goes a little bit further, but check out what his brothers say to him. His brothers respond, so you think you will be our king, do you? Do you actually think you will reign over us? And they hated him all the more because of his dreams and the way he talked about them. Conflict. Joseph must have been crazy, though. Let's be real, because Joseph actually says, yeah, well, it wasn't just you guys bowing down to me. Actually, the sun and the moon and the stars, they were all just bowing down to me. Joseph was proud, man, and he had a gift for dreams. So his brothers, oh, man, they got an option here, y'all. Now, when they handle conflict, do you think they, A, ignored it, B, said, okay, let's make a little bit of drama about this, C, they said, well, let's just be a little bit, let's not make too big of a deal about it. Let's be a little passive-aggressive for it. Or D, they sought some revenge. What do you guys think they did? Now, if it was your brother who was the favorite, who got the Joe Montana football, and all of a sudden he said, I had a dream, you were bowing down to me, man, you were worshiping me, I was the king, how would you guys react? Yeah, you take the football, you probably give it to the beast, right? Let him chew it up, all that fun stuff. Guys, his brothers lose it. His brothers say, all right, this is enough of it. We're about to seek some revenge. I'm tired of all this. Here's how I'm going to handle this conflict. Let's take Joseph. Here, first, let's get the coat from him. Give me this big, expensive coat. And I'm going to throw him in this cistern over here. Cistern was like a well, guys, really, really deep. There used to be water in the bottom of it. There was no water in this one. They take Joseph and they throw him in it. And they say, hey, guys, what are we going to do? What are we going to do to our brother here? And first they say, hey, let's kill him. I'm tired of this guy. He's the favorite. He gets all the attention. I'm tired of this conflict. I want revenge. I'm going to kill him. They take the coat, right, and they actually go and they're like, well, is it the best idea to kill our brother? So they have, I guess, a better idea, right? And check out what their better idea here is. Judah said to his brothers, what will we gain by killing our brother? We'd have to cover up the crime. Instead of hurting him, let's just sell him to those Ishmaelite traders. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood. And his brothers agreed. I love how it says, after all, he's our brother, our own flesh and blood. Let's not kill him. Let's just sell him into slavery. Yeah, guys, some people even believe that it was worse to be in slavery. Some slaves would say, I'd rather not even have to deal with that. Let's not kill him, because we're not going to get anything for him. Let's sell him, make some money, and then we'll be on our way. We won't ever have to worry about our brother again. God, this is some revenge. And what they do? They sold him. See you, Joseph. They got him out. They took the coat. They actually killed a goat and put all the blood on the coat. So what did they say about the coat? Joseph was killed. They said, hey, Dad, I'm sorry about your favorite son, Joseph. Unfortunately, he was actually killed. Yeah, some wild animal. This pig went crazy, and I don't know if he licked him to death or what happened, but he's gone. Here's the blood on the robe. Sorry. His dad was heartbroken, devastated. Couldn't believe it. His favorite son. His brothers did it. So what happens to Joseph, guys? Joseph is sold into slavery to a guy by the name of Potiphar, right? He gets accused of something by Potiphar's wife that he didn't do, and Joseph's thrown in prison, right? Now, all this happened when Joseph was 17 years old, okay? He was 17, so he was like some of y'all's age. He's thrown in prison. When he's in prison, Pharaoh, which is the ruler of all of Egypt, Pharaoh says, dude, we got a problem. I had these crazy dreams at night. I don't know how to understand them. I don't know what's going on. Hey, Potiphar, do you know anybody that can understand dreams? And Potiphar thinks, well, I had this guy Joseph who used to be my slave and work at the house, and he had these crazy dreams all the time. He had a gift of interpreting dreams. Pharaoh says, hey, Potiphar, do me a favor. Go get Joseph, bring him to me. He goes and he gets Joseph out of prison, and he brings him back, and he says, hey, Joseph, can you interpret dreams? Yeah, I can. Okay, well, what do these dreams mean? Long story short, guys, the dreams actually meant that Egypt was about to be going through a famine. Right? Famine where there's no food, right? There's no rain, no water. So they're going to have to store up as much crops as possible so they survive. But they're going to have 7 good years before it. So Pharaoh said, oh, man, well, if this Joseph guy's right, here, let him come hang with me. They found out Joseph was right. And Pharaoh said, this dude has a gift from God to interpret dreams. I want him to be my right-hand man. And he took his ring, and Pharaoh gave Joseph his ring. And a ring, we got any Lord of the Rings fans out here? Only a couple? Come on now, Lord of the Rings. The one ring to rule them all, one ring to bind them. Oh, my goodness. Hey, the ring was a symbol of power. And Pharaoh said, here, take my ring. You are now in charge of all of Egypt. Everything. He even gave him a gold chain, right? So you're the man. I know you like that robe. Okay, Joseph was probably still talking about this robe. He's like, well, do you have a robe? I really like the robe that I had. My dad made me. I'd love to have something. So he gives him some clothes to wear. And Joseph now went from his brothers seeking revenge, selling him into slavery, being in prison, to now being the second command behind Pharaoh. He was the most important person right behind Pharaoh in all of Egypt. And guess what happened to Egypt? Remember Joseph's dream about a famine and a drought? They aren't going to have any food. The rains are going to stop. Well, people ran out of food. People were starving. And people didn't know what to do. 20 years later, guys, it was about 20 years had passed. And all of Joseph's brothers say, we don't know what to do. We have to go talk to Pharaoh. We need some food or we're going to die. So they come all the way, talk to Pharaoh. Right? Pharaoh's like, hey, man, you talk to Joseph. Joseph's in charge of everything. They have no idea who Joseph is. And these brothers walked in, right? And they're like, hey, we need some food. And Joseph, right in that moment in time, had every right to say, get out. But he didn't. He had every right to seek revenge, but he didn't do it. Joseph actually just played around with them a little bit. He knew who they were, but did they know who Joseph was? No, they didn't have a clue who Joseph was. So what ends up happening, guys? Joseph was with them. And he embraces them. He goes back and forth with them a little bit because let's be honest, if your brother sold you into slavery, who would be a little upset? I would be hot, right? I was like, you might as well put me under because if you sell me into slavery and I find you, oh man, there's going to be some serious slapping and kicking going on, right? I'd be really upset. I'd probably be biting them and all kinds of crazy stuff, right? Joseph says, hey, you know what? I don't want to worry about that conflict. They went back and forth for a while, and Joseph eventually does this, guys, with his brothers. Check this out. We go to the next verse here. Genesis 45:15. Joseph finally tells everybody real quick. He says, listen, everybody get out of here. All the officials, everybody in the court said, I want to talk to these guys by myself. And this is what Joseph does. Now remember, he is the second most important person in all of Egypt. He could have killed his brothers. Nobody would have said anything. He could have done any revenge he wanted to. But Joseph instead cries to him. He says, I'm your brother, man. I'm Joseph. 20 years ago, you sold me into slavery. And this is what Joseph does. Joseph kissed each of his brothers, and he wept over them. And after that, they began talking freely with him. Guys, if anybody had a chance for revenge, when conflict hit and he was sold and put in prison. And he was mad. But guys, he chose a relationship. You know why? And you know what the main idea for tonight, guys, is when you get hit with conflict, because conflict's coming this week, all right? When something happens this weekend, somebody in your family, somebody in your crew, one of your boys, one of your girlfriends, or something happens, guys, when it comes to conflict, relationships are greater than revenge. They're just greater. There is no doubt they are a lot better. It's relationships. Because when you have revenge on somebody, there's really no coming back from that, right? Whitney showed me something this morning off Instagram. She said, this would be great to show tonight for the message. And it was some girl was getting revenge, like on, I don't know, her boyfriend or something. And you know, like a pasta dish, you might get Parmesan cheese or something on it? And she was like, this is disgusting. She was actually grating like the bottom of her feet onto the pasta. And it's like, here you go. And then she was going to like give it to her boyfriend. Guys, there's no coming back from that. I'll be honest. If I got some toe jam or something in my food, I'll be like, Whit, I love you, baby. I know we're having a baby, but I got to take some time here. Guys, there's no coming back from it. When it comes to conflict, relationships is greater than revenge. It's absolutely, positively, it's not worth it. It's really not. And you guys all have somebody in mind right now you've got a lot of conflict with. You do. I immediately, when this happened, guys, I thought about one of my best friends from my crew. His name's Derek. We played football together since the 7th grade at Ferndale Middle School, right? And this might sound petty, okay, but stay with me real quick. Back in November, Whitney and I were celebrating my birthday, and she was cooking me a wonderful breakfast, and it was incredible. We had the day together, and Derek calls me. And I thought, oh, man, Derek normally just calls me if he needs something, right? Why is he calling me right now? I don't know what this is about. I guess he's going to wish me a happy birthday. This is great. I answer the phone, and guess what? Derek says, hey, man, I need you. I need some help. I need something. I need some money. I got something going on. My dog's really, really sick. I need some help. So Whitney and I are like, you know what? We're in the middle of breakfast. We're going to have to just take a break and help this situation. And we help my good friend Derek. And unfortunately, guys, we got the phone, and Derek didn't say anything about my birthday. And Whitney's like, you're being so, and she was being very loving when she said this, but she's like, you know, it shouldn't matter if he wishes you happy birthday or not. You're 28 years old. You're a grown man, right? I don't need to be mad if my friend doesn't tell me happy birthday. Right? But the issue was this. In December, it was Derek's birthday. And Derek starts calling me and texting me. You guys remember that guy David who ate the snowball over here on the ground? Oh, and he didn't throw the snowball at anybody? Dave was over here like, no, I didn't throw it. It was one of those two guys. Yeah, David, he was still with us. He texts me and David, and he's like, hey, it's my birthday, man. You guys haven't done anything for me. I said, what? He said, yeah, it's my birthday. You guys can at least come and we have dinner together, do something fun. I was like, Derek, man. And it bothered me. And I immediately thought, dude, remember when it was my birthday, you didn't even call and tell me happy birthday? But it doesn't matter about that stuff, y'all. First of all, I'm 28. I don't need to worry if somebody tells me happy birthday, right? But on top of that, guys, relationships are bigger than revenge. They really, really are. You've got to choose that. And with whatever conflict you're going through right now, this week, whoever comes to your mind, there's 4 things we can do for it. First thing you can do with that conflict, guys, how about you pray for them? Guys, pray that God will change your heart and change their heart. And whatever conflict you're struggling with, pray that God will help you through it. Because whatever you're mad about right now, just ask yourself, hey, did you pray about that? You probably didn't. We got to pray about those things, y'all. Second thing we can do, think. Just think for a second. Is what you're upset about right now, is it that big of a deal? It's probably not. Is it that big of a deal in the long run? Is it big enough of a deal where you can lose your whole relationship with this person? Third thing, gotta say something. Just say something to the person you're mad with. Let them know you're upset. Let them know you're bothered. Let them know that you're confused. Talk to them. Hey, what if we actually apologize and we're trying to be the bigger person for once? That's hard to do. I know it is. And the final thing is just do something. Do something about it. Guys, do not ignore conflict, okay? Do not be passive-aggressive towards conflict. It's not the answer. Don't go run into conflict like a drama queen or drama king. That's not going to work either, all right? Guys, we have to embrace conflict by remembering that relationships are greater than revenge. It just is. And as we wrap up here, y'all, I want you to really, really think and pray about that person tonight that you're struggling with and whatever conflict you're struggling with. As we finish the Crew series, guys, I want you guys to remember and know, hey, friends are going to make mistakes. They're going to mess up. They are. But dude, if you could just love them and be a reflection as much as you possibly could to them of Jesus, you have no idea the influence you have on them. None of us do. So when you face conflict this week, guys, because it's going to come, I promise you it'll come, what are you going to do? How are you going to handle it? Let's pray for them, y'all. And let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we love you. Thank you for this time we can come together and we can worship you. Lord, thank you for all of our middle school students in here, our high school students, our leaders in here. Lord, thank you for the crews that are in here and just the friendships that are in this room. Lord, and I pray that as we venture out this week, I'll lift up those relationships that are struggling. I'll lift up the conflict that we're facing in life right now. Help us not to run from it, because conflict is a part of life, Lord. Help us to be bold and come to you, Lord, and help us do the best we possibly can to be reflections of your Son, Jesus, to them. Because, man, relationships, they mean so much more than just trying to get even and get revenge. God, we love you, and we need you to help us overcome our conflict. And it's in your name we pray, Jesus. Amen.
If you guys would stand with us. This next song we're going to sing is New to Impact, and it's just about everything that Jesus went through on the cross, when he died for us, and then when he rose again for us because of how much he loves us. And this next song is just a praise to him, saying thank you so much. So if you guys would, just sing this with us.
Stars they wept, the morning sun was dead, the Savior of the world was fallen, his body on the cross, his blood poured out for us, the weight of every curse upon him. The Son of God was laid in darkness, a battle in the grave, a war on death was waged, the power of hell forever broken. The ground began to shake, the stone was rolled away, his perfect love could not be overcome. this out with us. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. The Lamb is overcome. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. The Lamb is overcome. Sing it out. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. The Lamb is overcome. Come on, church. We sing hallelujah. We sing loud. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. We sing
Hey guys, so we just encourage you, when you face that conflict this week, because it's coming, y'all don't go and try and seek revenge. Guys, we worship a God that is so much bigger than any conflict that you may face. And you might feel stuck, and if you feel stuck right now and you don't know where to go, come talk to me. Talk to us. Talk to your small group leader. We love you guys. We're here for y'all. Guys, overcome that conflict and roll with your crew. Guys, friends are important. Hold tight to them, all right? Hey, a couple announcements real quick for you guys. It's really quick. Big stuff, guys. If you have signed up for it, if you're good for big stuff, if you're not on the waiting list, you need to get your money in by the end of March, okay? Money has to be in, guys, or you will lose your spot, okay? So let's be sure you get your money in or have a conversation 2 weeks, all righty? Anybody excited about big stuff? There we go. Yes. Can't wait, guys. It's going down. It's going to be a blast. Hey, a couple other things for us. The bonfire. Yes, Impact Bonfire. Guys, if you're interested in coming, bring your friends. It's on Friday, March 31st, okay, from 6 to 8. It's going to be a blast. You don't have to sign up. Just come, have fun. All right. One final thing for us. Hey, last thing. Let me get your attention real quick. I feel like we got some conflict up in here. Somebody's got some beef. Somebody have to catch me outside real quick. Hey, really quickly. Okay, next Wednesday, we're having a chair party. There you go. Listen, hey, on a serious note, next Wednesday, we are moving all the chairs out of the auditorium, okay, at 8:30. So if you want to help, if you want some Impact swag, a hat or a shirt or some gear, you need to help us next Wednesday at 8:30. Get your small group to help us move some chairs. You'll be done at about 8:50, 9 o'clock, okay? Everybody else, first-time guests, come down the front. Y'all have a wonderful week. We love you guys. See you.